Good morning and a warm welcome to Nigeria Now, showing on your digital first Pan-African news network 2S Television, a program where we'll bring you the top stories from across some of the national dailies each day. And this morning, joining me in the studio is Adeswa and Adebayo Fajimi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah. So apart from the security stories making the rounds, I think we have other stories. I think on GDP,
Yeah.
Nigeria's gross domestic product, making the rounds across the national dailies for this morning, right?
Yes. So that story, the story about, so it was, I think it was yesterday that the news made round that Nigeria's economy has grown by 5.01%.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of replicated across all
the national dailies.
national dailies this morning. But I'm going to pick up the Blueprint newspaper. It says Nigeria's 5.01% GDP growth excites Buhari. Non-oil sector rises to 6.74, ICT 17.92, trade, ICT, transportation, electricity, agriculture, major drivers. President praises economic stability plan. So I'm going to ask you, Mr. Adebayo. So the thing is, in the third and last quarter of 2020, the economy of Nigeria dipped like really bad. And the first quarter of 2021, it dipped further, it's like minus 0.6%. And now we're seeing a rise, 5.01%. What do you think? And then the president is saying, you know, economic stability plan, we'll have economic recovery and growth plan. What do you think about Nigeria's shaky, economy? Once we're going into a recession, the economy is dipping, the prices of food, prices of, things are skyrocketing. And then another time you're seeing that, the economy is stabilizing. What do you think about that shaking?
Well, my take on that is just simple. This shows us how GDP shows how economy of a particular country, it functions. Having said that, we need not to just make this a nomenclature, because time and again we have seen successive governments even before now telling us that the economy is good, and this, even if you look at the first tenure of this administration, we had similar situation. But if you look at the entire thing closely, you will discover that most of this GDP or whatever we call it is just, to me, a nomenclature. It is not enough for us to say, okay, on paper our economy, our GDP is doing well. The impact must be well felt on every citizen, and I think that is the best way we can really measure how our economy is performing.
Okay, so I was going to ask you that. You said the impact has to be felt by every citizen. As a regular Nigerian, does it ever feel as though the economy is stabilizing, or does it ever feel like, things are getting better? Because I know that quite a number of times when they say Nigeria has come out of recession, you hear the ordinary man saying, but
we're still feeling it. Yeah, they're still hiking prices.
Does it ever feel that way? And what role do you think economic diversification plays here? Because I'm seeing trade, ICT, transportation, electricity, and agriculture are major drivers of the economic boost. So what role do you think economic diversification plays?
Well, the role it needs to play, if our government, if our political leaders are really serious about economic development, it is not even now. You see a situation whereby we have developing world diversifying even from this oil, crude oil that Nigeria relies solely on, for economic development. In no time now, you hardly see any car on the road using crude oil. And when that stops, you can imagine what will happen, to what will be accruing to the federal account and all of that. So I think what government needs to do is they need to look into agricultural sector. And we have been saying it over and over. But you later discover that the kind of money or the huge amount of money that the government is pumping, which they say they are pumping into this agricultural sector, is it getting to the appropriate route? Those who can, really engage themselves in this sector and, to ensure that we have high productivity, in this sector and all of that. But, the government is not doing that. So you just hear a huge amount of money, we pump this amount of money. At the end of the day, you will not see any result.
Yeah, it's actually good that you mentioned something about agriculture because look, I see this gaping headline in The Guardian. It says surprise economic gains highest quarterly growth since 2015.
Yeah.
And now the question I'm asking is if we're having an issue of insecurity, especially in northern Nigeria, where of course we have fertile ground, we have some foods that we do import to other states. Yeah. So if we're having all of these issues and we can still boast of a growth, like a rise in the GDP, does that mean that we're not tapping enough into agriculture? Because if we're doing so, and there was like an average man would think, if we're doing so and agriculture was moving fine, we're having so much imports and everything, it was spreading across board, it would have been more than this, right? So if we're not tapping into agriculture, which is a major player in boosting our GDP in the country, it means there should be more good news to what we see now, right?
And of course, we are not doing that. Now, the governor of, I want to remember the name of that governor now, who says majority of his people now, in fact, farmers can no longer go to, to their farms, to farm, to produce, to do whatever they can do. Most of them are now in high DP, running a task up and down to ensure that, they are safe. It is only when you are safe, that you can think of what you do and all of that. So we are not doing enough, honestly, because it is somebody who is alive, who can farm, who can be productive. And also, even apart from that, there are a lot of things that the government needs to do. There are a lot of wastage. Like I used to have, somebody outside the country who says, most of these things, we have cashew. If you see the rate at which cashew waste in China, they preserve these things. After 30 days, 3 months, you can still go there and, you still want to get cashew. But here you see all these things, falling. You go to some part of the country, where you can find pineapples or all these fruits. And, if government can look into this thing holistically and be decisive, and put, the right people at the affairs who can navigate, this sector for us, I think things will work well for us as a nation.
Yeah, I was going to ask again, looking at the Daily Independent newspaper, we're less than 2 years to the 2023 general elections, and we're having like the banner headline now is saying PDP leadership crisis, Secondus fights back, court restores him as national chair, and Atiku faces in PDP 24 months after explains himself. What do you make of all of this drama, before preceding the elections?
Yeah, well, it is not, surprising that this is happening. It has been a successive thing in Nigerian political, history. So my fear is just, for every Nigerian, because the way things is playing, and if we ask ourselves sincerely that are these people really fighting, to really serve people or for their own sake, all over and over. If you look at Nigeria, let's even look at it, 1999 to this present. If you look at what government proved to have done, you will know that Nigeria is far away from that. So, not too long, we declared the capital, world poverty capital, and every Nigerian can feel that we can see the effect. So all these political leaders should just drop their egos, come together, and look into how they can develop Nigeria as a nation. All this drama and political coloration, whatever, it should stop. It is high time we stop all this drama and focus on national development.
Okay. What's your take on flouting court orders? It seems like to be an order of the day with, politicians, people in government. So the court says, look, we're taking you off as PDP chairman. And ideally, you're supposed to, even if you're going to appeal, you're going to fight back, you're supposed to step down and then go on and fight back. But he says, look, I'm not going anywhere. And he didn't go anywhere. And now we're seeing that, he has been reinstated as PDP national chair by the court. What do you think about, flouting court orders?
And Nigerian leaders over the years have not been, they have not been respected. I mean, they have not been respecting the rule of law. So, and if it's just like, it's contagious, it's a contagious thing. So we have seen successive leaders, even in this administration, and even the one in the past, seeing them define, court order. So what do you expect? So it is just like a norm for us on this part of the world that, when courts give an order, it doesn't matter. So as long as you have that political power or you belong to the cabal, so you can just go scot-free. So I think that is very, very bad.
All right.
All right.
We have a couple of other stories, right? Like in the Business Day, the banner headline there is "Opay from Telnet to Africa's biggest unicorn." To get the details of that, you grab a copy of the Business Day newspaper. And on the Daily Times, we're talking about Benue State Governor Autumn to presidency. The banner headline there is "Focus on ending insecurity, fix economy instead of attacking me." And the writer there says, "You, not Benue government, spreading division, hate. PDP replies presidency." This story has been on the front burners of the news since I think 2 days ago. What do you make of that relationship between the Benue State government and the presidency?
Like I have said, I'll still repeat myself. The relationship is very bad and it's poor, and you can see, the impact, or rather the effect of, this. This is where I belong to. This is where I don't belong, and all of that. What is happening in Benue State? If you had the governor of that state, how will you feel? That suspected people from another clan are just coming, killing people over and over, and nobody has been perpetrated. There is no way you will not react. Of course. So now all this word of war, and you are this, you are this, you are that, I am this, should end. Honestly, Nigeria, if we still want this nation to exist, it is high time we come together. The presidency should, in fact, these people, the highlands of the president, it's high time they drop all these things. Okay, attacking all manner of people, state governors, and be giving them names anyhow. If they had a governor of that state, won't they react? Of course they will. So I think what Benue State Governor said is okay, and it is high time presidency listens to him and see how they can fix Nigerian security and the economy, because the power to fix Nigerian architecture system belongs to the presidency. It doesn't lie in because the president appoints high GP, and the commissioner of police in every state report to the IGP. So a governor has no power, to control, or rather to maneuver the security architecture of his state. So everything lies on the presidency, and that is why a couple of people, or let me say a great deal in Nigeria, have been calling for restructuring.
Yeah, but do you think it's okay for the Benue State governor to call the presidency biased and say, look, he's the reason why all of this is happening to my state and to the country at large?
Well, even if it is not okay, but have we really seen the president taking decisive steps, to contain this menace? It has never happened. Even if he doesn't, have that intention. But I think the entire body language shows that, it is likely, it is a likely situation of what is, what the other person has in mind. So for all this speculation to stop, those at the affirm of power, or those who need to take decisive steps, should come out clean and be decisive. So I think that will put end to all this scenario.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you so much for the
analysis.
analysis.
I think we've actually exhausted our time. We have a couple of other headlines from across the national dailies of this morning. Just grab yourself a copy of any of the newspapers I've read out to you and stay updated and informed. On that note, I'll say stay tuned to our website. Follow us across all our social media platforms at TOS TV Network on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course our website www.tostvnetwork.com. And don't forget, you can like and subscribe to our YouTube page as well. Again, thank you for staying with us on Nigeria Now. I am Merciful Ajinomo.
And of course, my name is Adesu Elsini. Thank you, and we'll see you on Monday.